Right now, it is time to bring in Dr. Judy Wurtman. Judy, of course, joins us on a Thursday morning here on Robin Hood Radio. Judy is the co-author of the Serotonin Power Diet, serotoninpowerdiet.com, a journal of a duck midwife, and Before Her Voice Was Still, A Friendship in the Shadow of ALS. Good morning, Judy.
Good morning to both of you. I didn't get the whole conversation, but I'm glad you're both together at this point.
I have a question. What is your position on parallel universes?
On what?
Parallel universes.
Oh, I'm having enough trouble negotiating this one.
I understand. All right. So you have go on.
Okay, but the reason what I'd like to talk about is the fact that if you are overweight, gaining weight, want to go on a diet, look at a diet advertisements for weight loss programs, one of the problem areas that will come up and promises to correct it is overeating when you are emotionally upset, distressed, going through a hard time, worried, anxious, all those sort of negative emotions that tend to plague our lives when we don't want it, and often unexpectedly. And oftentimes, if they last long enough, these situations, and the emotional eating is associated with it, a good deal of weight gain can occur, and indeed, it's almost impossible to lose weight if you are still in the throes of all this. And so the attitude is, well, stop it. Stop it totally. Just, if you put cookies in your mouth when you're upset, never put another cookie in your mouth. If you tend to munch on potato chips or go out and eat a pizza or what have you, stop eating it. You simply, if you are upset, if you are distressed, you simply should switch your diet to healthy foods, which means, low-fat protein, or and high fiber vegetables and low fat dairy products, unless you're one of those people who don't eat dairy. Okay, and bring your body back into a state of health. What is not recognized, and it's been, I keep thinking sometimes somebody has to come around and understand this, is that when people look to food as a way of helping them through a difficult period, they're doing so because on some level it works. I mean, if drinking water or standing on your head or doing somersaults was going to relieve your stress, you would be doing that, and you'd be doing that maybe obsessively. Or if some people clearly, as we talked about, Jill, who will do things like clean their drawers or maybe make risotto where they're doing something repetitive, and that really does help. But basically, our brains are programmed to respond positively to eating certain foods. And the reason that we tend to look for foods is because there really is a before, you're stressed, and an after, you're less stressed. And that after occurs because you have eaten something that has taken the edge off the difficulties that you are facing right now and that you can't do anything about. The problem is that people choose a category of food which is correct, and they are carbohydrates, but they choose, if you pardon my biological analogy, the wrong species of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates will make you less stressed. We have shown that over and over again in our research. The last research with women who had severe PMS. But not all carbohydrates do so without any side effects, and the side effects are weight gain. So the carbohydrates that cause the weight gain are the carbohydrates that are high in fat. So you have to sort of wipe out an entire category of high-fat, wonderful-tasting carbohydrates, starting with chocolate and ending with ice cream and cookies and all sorts of pastries in between, or even savory carbohydrates like French fries or potato chips or other chips, which are also high in fat. Forget those. They may help, but they also are going to leave you with pounds, which are going to cause you distress later on. What you have to do is look at simple carbohydrates that are made by nature without any fat, like rice and potatoes and cornmeal and various vegetables like squash, and eat them in a natural form without putting any fat on it. And the calories, for those of you who don't bother looking at calories, are the same as the calories in protein. So there's no more reason that you would gain weight on eating a bowl of rice, or let's say several ounces of rice, than you would eating the same number of ounces of protein, because there's no fat. And the other thing about eating carbohydrates is that you don't need to eat an enormous amount. You have to eat a certain amount, about, let's say, maybe an ounce or so, or maybe 30 grams of carbohydrate, and then you wait. The same way if you had a terrible headache, you would take your pain reliever, Tylenol or ibuprofen or whatever, take the dose and wait. You would not eat, drink, swallow the entire pill box, a bottle of pills. And the same thing is true with the carbohydrates. Eating until you are in a state of emotional coma is not the way to go. You simply eat a small dose of carbohydrates, and then, Jill, as you mentioned, you distract yourself by cleaning out your drawers or making risotto, or maybe taking your dog out for a walk, or dusting hard-to-reach areas. I'm about to murder my dog right now.
No, don't murder her.
Who's barking in the background, or certain areas, or cleaning out your Venetian blinds. The point is, you can do that, but you have to be able to wait.
And you also have to be, you just, what I was thinking about is it's all very well to say I'm going back to where you started, but it's critical. It's all very well, when things are unraveling at a clip, to say, and don't eat if you're stressed. But, what are the chances? It's not going to happen.
Exactly.
It's not going to happen.
Of course, if you are in a really extreme situation, I always think about the plane that's plunging out of the sky. You're
you
not
won't be
gonna have
hungry.
to wait, the flight attendant for another bag of pretzels.
Right.
But if you are in that long period of what is going to happen,
how are we going to deal with this?
Worried about a teenager or a spouse or a parent,
exactly,
or financial problems, or is my house ever going to sell, or I'm not getting a job. Why can't I get employment? If you're in that long, grindingly stressful period, you're going to have to deal with it. And going on a program that denies you carbohydrate is like saying to somebody who's thirsty, "Don't drink any water."
But for the rest, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
No, someone who's thirsty. It's like, don't drink any water, but you'll manage. No.
Yeah.
So let's do the very, very brief list. I know you have, but let's do it again. Like what can you grab? What can you reach for? What's okay?
Applying bread.
Okay.
Bread. Bread without the butter. Bread. I mean, if you have good bread in the house, bread, crackers, breadsticks.
I know people who don't specifically do not keep bread in the house for those reasons. Because. No, just in general, not because they're expected to be stressed, but just because it's too easy to eat 3
days. You can microwave a potato in 12 minutes or less. I always over-microwave my potatoes, so don't look to me for advice on microwaving potatoes. But you can put a sweet potato or a white potato in your microwave, and 10 minutes later you can be eating it.
Sweet potato. I forgot about sweet potato. Sweet potatoes can be really good like that.
Exactly.
Also white potato.
Yeah,
also,
that will take. Or if you have a rice cooker,
yep.
Keep rice on the hand and then warm it up in the microwave. Crackers, low-fat crackers like rice crackers or breadsticks or pretzels. These, at some point when you're not stressed, you go to the supermarket and you just read some food labels, and then you bring that food into the house. Because, for example, let's say you have to have some tests because you don't know whether something that you found in your body is bad, malignant, or not. And you know that while you're waiting for those results, you're going to be horribly stressed. Well, prepare for it. Get something in the house that you can eat while you're waiting.
Right. And just nosh on.
Don't put your head in the sand because it's not going to help. I mean, just pick your head up and know, I'm going to eat when I'm stressed, but let me minimize the damage that's going to occur.
Speaking of minimizing,
if you have a dog that barks all the time, that people will come to the apartment across the hall because they're doing something.
It's okay.
I would actually love to hear suggestions.
It's okay. No, there's no suggestions. We love dogs. Dogs are parts of people's lives, and anybody that's listening that hears the dog and they have a dog, they understand completely. So don't worry about it.
And obviously, she suspects robbers, and it's just really important.
She does. I mean, that's the point. She protects us.
Yeah,
and if you came to my house and you were sitting down, she would be very quiet. The minute you get up, and she only weighs 12 pounds, you would be guarded.
That's right.
And she would escort you to the door.
She's doing her job.
Hey, Judy, can I suggest a couple of things for you to look at and maybe comment on in the future?
Sure.
TikTok has so much on it that's such pure garbage, with people claiming to be medical experts and telling you what's good and what's not. I think you should take a look at TikTok one day and take a look at some of the insanity that goes on it, because people really believe what they see on TikTok. And some of the stuff I see, I'm absolutely amazed with. So, I mean...
I know. And the problem is it's monetized.
Yeah.
Because you go on the internet and you will find, because we talked about this before, all sorts of, quote, remedies, unquote, that are simply ways of people to make money out of, spider webs and stems from the Amazon, leaves from the Amazon. And it makes, nobody does any kind of research. They claim they do, but they don't.
Mm-hmm.
And if they publish it in their own journals that they print themselves in their offices. So, but where do you get the right information? And there are. I will talk about it, Marshall, because the FDA really will put out information telling you, especially what things are dangerous. They do this all the time, and what drugs are you seeing advertised or ideas that you're seeing talked about that really can cause sickness and death? I'd be delighted to talk about that.
Okay.
Okay. So my dog is quiet.
And that's the
Now that
cue.
I'm finished.
That's the cue. Thank you very much, Dr.
Okay,
Judy
bye-bye.
Wurtman, Food for Mood.
And of course, you can hear Judy every Thursday morning here on Robin Hood Radio.